You know, December is always an interesting fucking month. And it never ceases to amaze me how atrocious they always seem to be for the past couple of years. But I'm not going to regale you with a whole lot of personal shit until later on in the video, but I'm going to preface this rant, so to speak, by going with something that I think everybody can relate to, and that is the subject of holiday travel. It sucks. It doesn't just suck, it's one of the most laborious and painful experiences you could possibly understand. And if you aren't an independent adult capable of making on-the-fly decisions, don't even fucking try, okay? Because if you're underage or something like that, and you get stranded out in the middle of nowhere, you're traveling by yourself, do not fucking travel in this, you know, season, so to speak. Now, like I said, December is always an interesting month for me. I turned 24 this month. Yeah, it was great. I guess it's technically January now. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy fucking New Year. Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's begin with the rant. So, I'm going to use company names just as a disclaimer. I don't fucking care. I was a paying customer. I have a complaint. So you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't care what happens. But I make a trip from my place in Columbus, Ohio to my former home in Wisconsin, southeastern Wisconsin. And oh my god, the psycho outside is screaming again. Anyways, I make a trip from my home in Columbus, Ohio to where my family in southeastern Wisconsin lives. And I booked it all, round tripped, everything, a month in advance, which is fine. So, I make a trip out to the Megabus on the 23rd to get there in time for my mom's birthday on the 23rd. Megabus arrives on time. We leave. I arrive in Chicago about half an hour late, which, you know, for bus travel with traffic and all that shit, you know what, I don't care. That's fine. I missed my connector Amtrak from Chicago Union Station to get up to Milwaukee. So I had to wait for an extra 2 hours in the train station. That is just the tip of the iceberg. If that's all that happened, I wouldn't be making this fucking video. I wouldn't even be angry about it. It would be a distant memory long ways away. But that's not all that happened. So, I get up to Milwaukee, do all the Christmas festivities and all that shit, which is fine. Then, very early on the 26th, the day after Christmas, very early in the fucking morning, 5 a.m., get up, I have to take an Amtrak to get down to Union Station. So I'm basically just doing the same thing that I did to get up here in reverse. I took the Megabus from Columbus to Chicago, take the Amtrak from Chicago to Milwaukee. Basically in reverse. Take the Amtrak to Milwaukee, down to Chicago, and then take the Megabus from Chicago to Columbus. Wasn't that fucking simple? Oh my god, this is like straight out of Planes, Trains, and fucking Automobiles, isn't it? So, mine is Del Griffith, and you know what? I would have loved to have John Candy as a tag-along, but... So, we arrive at the Amtrak station at the Milwaukee airport, and my mom and I are in the parking lot. We arrive there about half an hour early, and then we see the train pull up, so we rush inside to the train station. I give her a quick hug, and as we get into the building, I'm still seeing people boarding. And this is not like some big-ass train station, it's just some little platform that you get on, so it's like a 5-second ordeal. So I give my mom a quick hug and bid her adieu, and then as I'm right out the door, this douchebag conductor has a shit-eating grin on his face, and he just has this stupid-ass smile to me, and he's like, "Are you coming with us?" And I was like, yeah, I'd like to get on. And then immediately, the train starts moving. And the fucker has a walkie-talkie connected to his hip. They all do. Trust me, I know how Amtrak works. I've done it many, many times. And he's like, well, maybe you should have been a little quicker getting up here. Bye-bye. If I had a handgun, fucker would be dead. I apologize if I'm a little over the top here, but this was just the beginning of a 48-hour odyssey to get back home. So, my mother, wonderful woman that she is, she's like, well, we didn't really panic. I was seething at that fucker, you know, ditching me. But, again, if that's all that happened, this would not be a video. I'd have made a complaint call into Amtrak saying, fuck this guy, fire his ass, I want him gone. He had the potential to make sure that the train stayed stopped for, you know, a couple seconds, just for long enough for me to get on. Nope. So, we make our trip down. The Amtrak was supposed to arrive at Union Station an hour before my megabus left. So we have about 2 hours to get down there to meet the train. Well, an hour and a half to meet the train, two hours to meet the megabus. And so amidst some pretty decent traffic to get into Chicago, a lot better than I thought it was going to be, we make it in. Just about the time that the megabus does, maybe a little bit later. I had the time to go in there and slug that fucking conductor. Shame I didn't. One of my regrets from this holiday odyssey. So, that's fine. I bid my mom adieu. I tell her everything's going to be fine. She can go back up so that she misses any of the inclement weather that's coming in. And then, 9 a.m., when the bus is supposed to arrive, all of a sudden, a guy in a megabus uniform comes up to me and says, hey, you here for the Columbus bus? And I'm like, yes. Well, that got canceled. The weather's coming in. Didn't you hear? And then it's the epic facepalm moment. And I wonder, why fucking me? Why me? Why me? Shit. So, by the time I'm brave enough to give my mom a call and let her know the bad news, she's already at the Wisconsin border. So you know what? I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to see if I can't get a hotel room. And eventually, amidst some, because I didn't have access to any Wi-Fi or any kind of information resource, so information resource and shit like that was handled by my dad. And eventually we booked a hotel room. But I was there. He's still in Columbus, so this was just for me. We booked a hotel room to the Holiday Inn, just like 2.5 blocks away. Pretty interesting place. They have it's the Holiday Inn on Harrison, right next to Union Station. So if you're in Chicago, give this place a fucking try. Not the Holiday Inn. I mean, if you're in town, fine. What the hell? It is not me. But Aurelio's Pizza, which is a place that's connected to the Holiday Inn, and it's a chain in the Illinois area. Best Chicago-style pizza I've ever had. This is not a commercial, but this is important. Maybe the best pizza I've ever had. So, that was the silver lining. So, I go to bed with a full stomach, sleep in a nice, comfortable bed, get up, 6 in the morning. At this time, we had already rescheduled a trip after the weather had fucking died. So the following morning at, what the hell was it, 8 a.m., 8 a.m., right. So at 8 a.m., my bus is supposed to leave. So I get up at 6, do all my shit to check out and all that stuff, and I check out of the hotel room. Very important note, I checked the Megabus website before this just to make sure, because they're supposed to have email alerts or alerts on their website whenever there's going to be a cancellation, an hour in advance. So if it's within an hour, they're not supposed to do any cancellations, anything like that. So I get to Union Station to catch the megabus. There's a couple of people there with me, and this is important because I don't have a smartphone. I don't have any phone with any kind of email. Yes, I'm a little behind the times in that department, so sue me. Everybody starts getting little emails 10 minutes before the bus is supposed to arrive. I'm getting an email that the bus is canceled. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I just checked it within the hour, and there was no notification whatsoever. Well, I mean, this one doesn't say anything about the weather because there was no fucking weather. The Indianapolis-Columbus storm had already passed. Hopefully all the shit was plowed. Cancel. At this point, I was at wit's end. And I'm still at wit's fucking end. You have no idea the frustration of having 2 megabuses, 2 fucking buses, skip out weather, and one due to some unknown reason that I've never actually received. They just canceled it for the fuck of it. I guess they didn't get enough tickets sold. So my question to you is, what the fuck? And this is important. We did not have any uniformed megabus person come up and say this bus is canceled like I did the previous day. So what happens if you don't have a smartphone? And I understand, yes, more and more people. I mean, everything operates on fucking, BlackBerry, smartphone, iPhone shit nowadays. And what if somebody like me, and what if in the astronomical chance that everybody who's supposed to catch that bus doesn't have, email on their phone? What the fuck then? You have canceled a bus within 10 minutes of its arrival to pick us up for our trip, our departure. What the fuck? Seriously. So after 2 missed buses, I was given a suggestion from my father to take a cab over to the Greyhound station. Greyhound. Costs almost twice as much as Megabus and takes almost twice as long. So I sit there waiting in the Greyhound station in Chicago until this was about a 5-hour wait for the fucker to leave. And then, when we all get in line, I'm starting to dread, because I've not done Greyhound before, I've only done Megabus. I'm starting to dread, oh my god, there's a shitload of people in front of me. This is going to fill the bus up, and they're going to... At this point, I was as cynical as you could possibly imagine. Anything that could have gone wrong had gone wrong at that point, and it was pretty much getting to the point where I was going to just hitchhike my way to fucking Columbus. Thankfully, though, they had multiple buses. They took us all. I mean, it's a 2-leg trip. One from Chicago to Indianapolis, and the other leg from Indianapolis to Columbus. And there were, I'm sure, a bunch of other people branching and not taking the same trip that I was, which is fine. So, the fucker leaves. Get to the station in Indianapolis. Oh my god. Within 24 hours, I have the best pizza that I've ever had, and then I get some cheap fucking roller food. And this wasn't roller food, but they had roller food here. This station had the worst pizza that I've ever tasted in my life. And I'm a pizza connoisseur. I like my pizza. I'm from Chicago. I like Chicago style. I like, a whole lot of good stuff. Not so much. This was some cheap-ass cardboard. This is not about pizza, but it's just about the experience that I had. And it was an atrocious experience. So then the jewel moment, the crowning moment of this fucking god-awful trip, waiting for the Greyhound to get to Indianapolis. The Greyhound that I'm supposed to take to Columbus, to Indianapolis. So, we wait, and wait, and wait, and wait longer. And we're just going to keep on waiting at this point. But the big kicker is, like half an hour after the bus is supposed to have fucking arrived, we get notice that from the train station, they make an announcement that the bus is delayed. And I was just like, okay, delayed is fine. You cancel it and strand my ass out even more in the middle of nowhere. And I understand Indianapolis is a big city, but I have no way of getting fucking home. I'm 3 hours away from Chicago and 3 hours away from fucking Columbus. So I'm literally nowhere. And I'm not forking over money for another fucking hotel room. So eventually the bus arrives, people start leaving, and then the big moment. There's a line of us waiting and continuing to wait, wondering what in the blue fuck we're waiting for. So what happens then? They just start talking amongst themselves. The bus is here. The bus could very easily start loading our shit on, take us to Columbus, and leave. But they continued to sit there and not give us any explanation as to why in the blue fuck we were waiting for 2 hours after the scheduled departure time to finally get on and go home. So, and then when we got to the Greyhound station in Columbus, to the drivers, to be fair to the driver, they gave him the wrong directions. So it took him a while to find the proper exit we were supposed to take. And then he goes the wrong way on a one-way street. And at this point, I'm just waiting for the bus to crash and for all of us to explode in flames. And then he arrives at the passenger gate. And then we have to go all the way around. We have to back out into oncoming traffic in a one-way street, the wrong side of a one-way street, go down the wrong lane in a one-way street, go around the block, and eventually, just eventually, we finally fucking get home. So that is my idea in a nutshell. Idea? No. Experience in a nutshell. Traveling sucks. Never fucking do it in the holidays unless you have no fucking choice. And if you do, make sure it is a one-leg trip. Never have connectors. Never fucking have connectors. Because if your ass gets stranded anywhere, you are gonna paying shit out of pocket. I was wondering, throwing my hands in the air saying, are you gonna compensate me for this bullshit? I'm not gonna be one of those stupid entitled people and sue you for missed work and all that shit, but compensate me for your stupid business practices of not fucking doing anything. So 3 refunds later, I'm home and very, very pissed. Now that I got home a couple of days ago, it's taken me some time to recover. And the reason why it took me so long to make this fucking video is because until today I was not in a volatile enough mood to do a rant. And that's going to segue into the next leg of this fucking rant. I hate people. I work in, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but it's pretty obvious what it is when I say it. It's a sandwich shop. And this is not me airing my dirty laundry where nobody can see it. These fuckers that I work with know that I have a YouTube channel, and they can very easily at any time see this rant, rave. I don't even know what you would call it at this point. I'm just so angry at people. Why the fuck is it so hard for people to adhere to their scheduled times? I can't remember the last time when a 1-week schedule wasn't marred with fucking shift switching and all this horse shit. If you can't work a certain day, ask the manager who schedules not to schedule you well enough in advance. So here, I spent my fucking New Year's Eve working in my sandwich shop far longer than I was supposed to because some stupid fucking new person did not show up on time. So, we wait and just doesn't show up, period. So we're one hand short. And then my partner in crime says, you know what, I'll stay with you. We'll finish this shift together. And then it's an hour before she's supposed to leave and she's like, no, not gonna do it. So I have to do 3 people's jobs to close out a fucking store. You ever get that feeling sometimes that if there is a deity up there, and I'm not going to bash people who believe in that sort of thing one way or the other, I'm not going to bash you for your views, but you ever get the feeling that if there is something up there, that it plays some kind of a goddamn practical joke on you? This was the most wonderful way I could think to spend my New Year's. And I didn't ask for it off, but I didn't ask to be fucked over by somebody no call, no showing, and they're not going to get fired for it until they do it 3 times. You know, when you no call, no show where I come from, that's just an automatic fucking quit right there, unless there's some extenuating circumstances that happen later, or that are discussed at a later time. I'm just so far at fucking wit's end. I hate people so much. I hate humanity so much. I hate this past week, this past month. This whole fucking year has been a disaster and a half. And I'm just complaining and whining at this point. People are going to say I'm acting childish. I don't give a fuck. First world problems, I know. But you know what? Everything's relative. Everything's fucking relative. And I think it's finally time, once I'm done uploading Zone of the Enders bullshit, uploading Zone of the Enders 2 stuff that I will enjoy uploading, that I did enjoy playing through. It's all fucking done. It's just a matter of me uploading it. That's the big part. Gotta render, gotta upload, gotta edit, gotta render, gotta upload, do all that shit. And then, God willing, if my foul mood holds up, and my ability to just piss and moan for a whole goddamn time happens, 1 second. You wanted it. You wanted it so fucking badly that you had to have it. Well, I have a Wii U now. I think it's finally time that I air a full fucking playthrough or review. I'm not sure what format that I'm going to do it in, but if my foul-ass mood holds up for the entire time that I'm uploading Zone of the Enders and Zone of the Enders 2, guess what I'm going to do as my next fucking project? Guess what? It's finally time for the horse shit to be aired out. This god-awful narrative and this slightly passable gameplay, but you want to see character murder. You want to see somebody go nuts playing something like this, like I've gone nuts just in the past fucking week with how fucking atrocious this is. Look at this. This is what I'm doing next, you stupid bastards. And of course I mean that with all the love in the world, but you love seeing me rage so much. You love seeing me play Metroid so much. It's finally time for me to destroy Metroid Other M. And maybe I will actually destroy it at the end of it, or give it away, or some shit like that. I don't know. But this game and I need to have their closure. We need our closure, Samus. And God willing, if my hostility holds up, Adam will authorize it. So, have a happy fucking New Year, everybody. I hope 2012 treated you better than it did me, and I hope 2013 makes all your dreams come true. Have a good night, everyone.